Hey guys, good afternoon. It's RG here, live from the studio, and we're super excited because we've finalized the new background for the studio, full of color, full of fun, and some of the projects that we've created in the past that kind of I picked and sorted to fit within their own space. And I absolutely, should I get out of the way so you can see it?
Yes, move out of the way.
Look
It's
how
so pretty.
pretty.
Love all the colors. So
Love
pretty.
all the colors. And again, I just brought some of the colors to life, some of the sugar palettes to life, and it looks fun. It looks so fun, and I love it. And I've got a lot of storage, and it smells like grapefruit in here because there's a whole bunch of grapefruit from my tree. On the side, but yes, super excited to have a colorful, bright, beautiful background for the studio in hopes that we inspire you to bring a little bit more color into your world. Speaking of color, last night I went live on a friend's page who is selling our product in Mexico, and so I don't know if you guys remember, but we taught a class for her. November, was it last November? Last November. And so of course they're all like, we want the sugar cubes, we want the sugar stock, we want all the stamps, how do we get them? And so we kind of partnered with Sara, who is one of the store owners in Mexico. And so she was here for Creativation, and so she kind of was picking orders and sending them over to her peeps in Mexico. So super excited. We decided to go live for one of the shares featuring our newest release for this week, which is called Flor Maria Fiesta Life and the super gorgeous artisan tile. So we're going to show these guys right now, and then I'll show you the projects.
And real quick, since we did go live, we have Jen Young here.
Jen, my
which
sis.
says that she's been practicing her Spanish ever since yesterday.
Yeah, you and me both, sis. You and me both.
And also, just to tell you that they love the background. It's gorgeous and beautiful.
So fun, so creative. I love just the inspiration of color. I have to keep putting these down because I'm going to be using the stamp so it's not on it. But this is the new release that we launched this Monday, which was all the way since yesterday. And I love it. It's gorgeous. It's full of color. It's full of vibe. And I love its vibe. Mm-hmm.
And just so you know, Sam's here. She says, finally I can watch a live.
Samsonite?
Like Samsonite.
Samsonite. No, let's call her J-Lo. We're not going to call her Samsonite. We're going to call her
she
J-Lo.
moved on to J-Lo.
She's moved on.
Okay.
You should see, you guys, if you don't follow Sam on her Snapchat, you might as well be following J-Lo. You don't know who you're looking at any particular moment. It's, I don't know, she's on this thing where she's on competition with J-Lo, but I don't know, you're getting there, Samson. So anyway, guys, so super
she
fun.
Says hello and LOL.
Super gorgeous. Love the Fiesta Life, Flor Maria. Oh, where's my little doll that she left me? It was on that seat.
Where did you leave
I don't,
it?
if the little JJ didn't take it, but so let me show you the project that we created yesterday. I'll take it out of my display. But it was full of color and full of fun vibe. I love it. I love it. I love it. We did the flor de papel, so the paper flowers, the Mexican paper flowers. And of course, it does come with sentiments in Spanish. So you've got Feliz cumpleaños con mucho amor, muchas gracias. So you can probably use those at a variety of different times. But of course, they marries well. Look, so this is a little teeny tiny Maria doll. Teeny tiny little Maria doll, which is kind of where the inspiration comes. They have them in all different sizes. It came from our last trip to Mexico, and I said I need to make a stamp set with the little Maria dolls. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And so again, lots of color, lots of flair, and that's what we're going to be creating today. So we're not going to be using the doll because I used it yesterday.
Pat Jane says hello.
Hi, Miss Pat.
And Roberta, she's back for the English version, so she was with us live yesterday in the Spanish.
Oh my gosh, that was a hoot because I'm okay with Spanish until I have to really do it. All right, so now that I moved everything out of the way, let's go ahead and get started here. I've got some pretty basic layers of color, and I'm going to be using the gorgeous artisan tile background stamp. Now, yesterday I also used it, and I'm just going to show you a few different plays with that particular background stamp, and of course a burst of color. So I'm going to be using a very, very thin layer of gesso for my project here because I want to be able to watercolor. So when I watercolor, I love to add a very, 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 very light thin layer of gesso to my powdered sugar cardstock. And I'm really just scraping it off the paper, okay? I'm not looking for texture at this particular moment. I'm just looking for some protection from water as I come back and add a few different layers of water to this. I'm also gonna get another scrap of powdered sugar because I'm gonna stamp some additional pieces that I'm gonna watercolor, and I wanna make sure that it's also prepared. And the reason why you really want a really smooth surface is because, of course, you're going to stamp on it. And if it's not too smooth of a surface, then you might get some blemishes in your stamping, and we don't want that. So just kind of clean this right off. We're going to let these guys dry.
Hi, Christina Diet.
Hi, Christina. Christina won last week's RG Share Challenge. Right. So make sure, guys, you enter this week's Share Challenge. You're not going to want to miss the opportunity to win a bundle. So far we have 2 winners this month. The RG Share Challenge which basically means you're gonna share this video with your friends and family for your opportunity to win the next week's bundle. So super cool. And next week's bundle is going to be an all-time favorite of everybody. I know it because I absolutely love it. But I also love this one. And I know this one. Remember I told you last week that this one's going to be a little different just because it's a little bit more themed, you know, more fiesta.
And Sara Munoz is here with us.
Hola, Sara. Sara. She already got there?
Well, wherever she's at.
Ya llegó Sara. No, es que se fue volando. Ah, no, pues iba. Okay, so we are going to layer up some of our colors here. Now, I did want to ask you guys, especially, of course, our CSDs, we are going to be bringing in the foam squares into the studio shop. Those should arrive soon, but we've gotten a lot of questions about the Big Runner. So if you guys want it, I know a lot of you love to use your discount. If you want us to bring these in, let us know. We can make some room in the shop to bring some of these guys in, and that way you guys have them available to use.
So she confirms, sí, Doña Sara.
Sí, Doña Sara. Ah, no, muy bien. ¿Y cómo está mi JJ? Alright guys, I'm just making sure that the gesso is completely dry because we're going to watercolor, so we're going to add several layers, and this is from what I had in the back.
Jane's excited for foam squares.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to have foam squares because we love them, and who doesn't want them at a discount, so.
So they are loving the idea of a large runner.
Yeah, I use it all the time. So
Daniel says, will we have the refills?
Yeah, we'll definitely carry the refills as well. If we decide to bring in the runners, then we'll carry the refills. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my background stamp here. And remember what I did yesterday? Well, if you saw it yesterday, which was in Spanish, so I wasn't expecting you guys to see it yesterday. But if you saw it yesterday, then you know that I ended up adding a layer of grid paper here, just so that I can position my stamp and create that image. Now, I don't want to bring it all the way through because obviously my stamp is larger than the cardstock here, but that way we place it exactly where we want it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some of those tones. So I'm going to bring in some rich cherry. I'm also going to bring in some rich honey. I love those colors, and a little bit of the rich cactus. I love those. Now, they are a little bit darker in tone, but remember, I want a watercolor on top of this. So we're trying something out. What's the worst that can happen? It's not cute. I'm not necessarily looking for, you know what? I'm just going to use these two colors because I'm going to watercolor on top of this, and so I want to make sure. So I'm not bringing in the rich honey just yet because I'm going to bring in some of the yellows. I'm going to bring in some of the yellows when I watercolor. Okay, so we've got super cool background. I love the greens and the reds. And remember, I'm going to come back and I'm going to add more layers and I'm going to add more fun, but I'm ultimately going to want to watercolor. So I'm not even going to stamp this again. I could come back and do this again, but again, I'm looking for a little bit more of that watercolor tone. So I'm going to set this aside real quick here. Let me clean off my stamp first.
Axel. Jen Young's like, Axel.
Just clean this off real quick.
So yes, Patricia, all the sugar cubes and cardstocks are available for purchase.
Patricia?
Patricia Miller.
Oh, I was like...
I know, we have a lot of Patricias.
I better not be Patricia Witzel because she probably already owns them all. Alright, so what we're going to do next, guys, is I'm going to get some random colors. I'm going to get Sour Mist. And no, you know what?
What was that white stuff that you were
gesso.
On the paper? Gesso.
That is gesso. We just added some gesso. And I had... Here we go. No? Did I not bring them? I guess these two will do.
What stamping platform are you using today?
I am using the Stamparatus. It's what I've been using. I thought I had brought different colors of these, but I can't find them. So we're going to have to go with these two. Just going to spritz some water here. And I'm going to grab a brush because, again, I want to create a little bit more of that watercolor look and feel. So I'm going to grab some Sour Mist, which is a little bit darker than I would have wanted. Let me see. I could have sworn I brought these other sugar drop colors. No? Well, we're just going to go with it. I'm going to bring in Sour Mist. And I'm going to bring in Tangy Berry. And again, it's all about color. It's all about just kind of creating that burst, that tone. Oh, I found the colors I originally brought. They were hiding in the background. So I'm going to take these out because I think they'll be a little dark. I found them.
You found your colors?
Yeah. Because
I've
I've spent all day working on this background. Okay, just kidding, guys. I'm going to use Sweet Banana and Sweet Blue. See, I had different colors in mind. And Sweet Blue. Okay, so I've got some sugar drops on here. Now I'm going to spritz my paper, and it's going to should run some of that rich cherry and that rich cactus. So using both of these colors, I am just going to grab some of those yellow tones. And I want it to merge. I want, again, we prepared it a little bit with that, again, that Sweet Blue. Let's bring in some of that blue. And you can see it's starting to run, but you're also going to notice something super cool here in a sec. Notice that the image in the background is not fading completely away. And I love that about this like watercolor. Look, 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 look. Do you see that? So we're just gonna let these guys run. Ideally, if it's got too much dye or too much ink, you can always just collect it here at the end, just with a little wet wipe. It absorbs the edges. so you don't have too much or get too muddy. Now you could also start doing it in phases, like do one color, let it dry, do another color, let it dry. But I love how the background still stays. And we don't have time for it to dry on its own, so we're gonna have to help it.
Well, they are loving that background. Daniel said she finally got her sugar drops today, so that's super awesome. So she'll
make samples, get creative
this weekend. So
check out that background, guys. I love it.
So I think if we would be able to hear everybody, we would hear like ooh, ah.
I love how that background stays. And you know why? It's because of the initial impression on the gesso. And because, of course, we covered it in gesso, it protects our paper from tearing. Even though we've added several layers of water. But check it out. Super fun, super festive. I love, love, love that background. All right, so now we're just gonna clear this out. And again, that's why I love the sugar drops. They're just designed to work well together, just with different mediums, as well as, of course, your actual project. So we are gonna bring this in. You know what? I'm actually, when in doubt, I should have known. I was a little doubtful. I should have just popped it out, but I'm like, do I want to? When I do layers like this, I do love to pop them out instead, because I really want them to pop on my project, not just blend too much into the background. And I love how we brought in that blues. And again, it's going to go on that dark blue. Look at that. Guys, it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, yesterday I used the dolls, and I said I wasn't going to use them today, but I am going to use the Gorgeous Gorgeous Life is a Fiesta Smallsies. And it's brand new because we haven't used this one yet. So we're definitely going to stamp this. And again, now we want to bring in a little bit more of that solid. So this one's going to be stamped in Rich Cherry. We'll use this guy here. And I definitely want it to be a very crisp impression. So as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and grab our Stamparatus. Because I want to make sure that this is super gorgeous bright red. I don't want there to be any blemishes. I want it to be exact. Still have some of the eraser on there.
Christina loves the dark blue.
I love the dark blue behind there. Yeah.
Look how it stands out too.
All right, so let's go ahead and grab that Rich Cherry. Now, if you wanted to, you could go Psycho Killer and make it multicolors, but I already have a lot of colors in the background, and I want my Papel Picado stamp to stick out. So we are gonna make it solid, solid, solid red. So again, we're gonna do it a few more times, and I noticed some blemishes on my stamp still from the adhesive.
From the eraser, you're saying?
From the eraser, sorry. Now I do recommend, especially if you're using a red, that you heat set that red. So that it doesn't leave your fingers red, because remember, it is dye based. One more time. All right, perfect. Now we're gonna wipe this off. Now to give us a light hint of yellow, we do definitely want a light hint of yellow as well. So I'm gonna grab just a little bit of yellow here. And I'm gonna go ahead and ink up my platform, or it could be a clear block if you want. And just with my wet wipe, I'm gonna clean that off. And now I'm going to stain my cardstock. So I'm just gonna stain my cardstock here a little bit. And it might have a little bit of that red. If you want to bring in that red, it'll bring it in as well. And so we're just gonna let that dry. Okay, we want some light colors as well. And I'll show you what I'm gonna do there in a second. But while that is drying, we're gonna use the other piece of cardstock that we added gesso to, because we're gonna get some flowers using our black taffy from the large set. I love the paper flower set. Because we're going to watercolor these as well. And there is going to be a lot of cutting because you know I'm crazy. So just clean my stamps because I have issues with them being dirty. I'm going to heat this a little bit. All right, so this one is set. We're ready to do a little bit of watercoloring here. So I'm gonna grab a palette creator. Maybe not put soap on it. Maybe just put water on it.
Did you grab the wrong file?
I did. I'm a hot mess today. What can I say? I'm gonna bring in some sweet banana first. And I'm gonna go ahead and spritz. I love spritzing my cardstock so that the color does not stay in one spot. Ideally, we want some spots to be more intense in colors than others. And if you decide, you know what, I want more of that sweet banana, then don't mix it with water. Just grab it as is and then bring that in. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry. Ideally, when you watercolor, I prefer that it dries on its own. Because you're going to get the best effects from that. But we're always rushing and trying to get everything done. So we may not always have that luxury. But yes, if you can just let it sit, let it dry on its own, it's going to do its thing and it's going to be amazing. So I'm going to get some of these ribbons, and again I just wanted a little hue of color on them. we get to cut those out as well. Ideally, we would want some greenery in there just to coordinate with our green background. So let's go ahead and get those done also while we're at it. I love a lot of layers, as you probably already know.
Would you need me to help you cut?
Would you like to help me cut it?
Yes, I can do that for you.
Good. Let me get you the hard ones.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you're gonna give me those little leafies to cut?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Now this one has two different foliage.
Oh, Estelita is on here.
Oh,
Hola.
Estelita. Hola, Estelita. ¿Cómo está? Okay. Estamos ready to cut.
Did I throw you off?
Switch, yeah. She does that all the time. I don't know if I have an additional pair.
I'll find some.
Scissors. But, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these guys out. I love the just the richness of color that these type of projects facilitate. And again, you're thinking of a fiesta, and of course you can go a lot simpler than all of the craziness that I'm doing, but I do love to show you versatility with our sets and the various different arts that you can create featuring those. So check it out. So I'm bringing that in, and then I'm going to bring in my banners.
Dice Estela, me encantan tus sellos. El del papel picado está súper.
Sí, está bien bonito. And you know what would be so great? If you were Psycho Killer and you wanted to go in there and cut out all those little pieces by hand, then it would really be papel picado. Then it would
That
really
is
be.
true.
Yeah. I don't recommend it though. You'll never want a paper craft again.
What? You don't?
Look how cute that is. I think it's so cute. And I love that background, and I'm almost afraid to hide it because it's so pretty. So sometimes what happens when you heat set it or when you heat dry it is that it actually moves the color around. And that's why I think that you take away some of the effects from the actual, you know, letting the water kind of dry where it's at. But we may not have a choice, especially when we're designing them on the spot.
Looks like a fiesta, Jen says.
It does look like a fiesta. Now, if you were going to do invitations, then you just need to make 100 more. What?
100 more. It's a big party.
It's a big party. Well, if it's a fiesta.
I suppose so. It can be a fiesta with a little bit of people.
Like two?
Two.
It's a fiesta of one. No one else is invited.
Well, no. It could be a 10.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we're just cutting these guys out. I love the flor de papel, the paper flowers, because they're so beautiful and they're so fluffy. And so today we're going to bring in some of that fluff into these flowers by simply layering them together. Now our cardstock is significantly thick, So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of water just to be able to create some dimension. It also might move some of that color around because of course it's water. So we're just going to bring in some of that dimension here. How's it going over there?
Good. You did give me the hardest ones.
I tried.
I know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So sweet and kind.
Now I want to dry them enough or else they're not going to want to stick to each other. Alrighty, so we've got a little bit of gold twine. Then I'm just gonna do a double bow too. When in doubt,
Pop it out.
we're gonna pop out our first piece of papel picado, and I love the size of it. Like, if you want to do like ATCs, I think it's a great little size. It's just really fun. I'm going to bring him down a little bit more here. Now I'm going to bring in my glue. And I'm going to grab one of the smaller.
Here you are.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, I don't need them.
What?
Just kidding. Just kidding.
And Estela is letting us know that the papel picado, it's a tradition in festivals, and they use it the most during Dia de los Muertos, but it is a tradition to be using it during festival times.
Yes, and it
Which I
looks
just
so
translated all that.
pretty. Check it out, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to create some layers, some fluff. It's so fluffy. And because I've got several layers and it's already textured, I'm just going to adhere it down with some glue. And again, they were designed to all work together if you wanted to. Create those fun layers. But I love them. Just bring in some of that fluff. Because I don't like it when it looks flat. All right, check it out. So we've got our banner and we've got our layers and we've got our twine. kind of peeking through that beautiful background with all of the tile. It looks like a old tile. So beautiful. I love it. Now we're going to bring this onto our card base. Now you do have the opportunity to stamp a sentiment here at the bottom. Ideally you would want to, I would probably want to emboss that in white. I think it would look so cool if it was in white. Let's see that. Can we still manage to do that? I'm gonna drop this. Like, I love that sentiment down there. Let's see if we can get that done. That's what happens when you're designing on the spot.
Well, it's beautiful, they say.
We're gonna grab our powdered sugar. Let's hope we don't mess that up, because it's got a foam square underneath. Not too bad. I don't think I've got white, but I'm going to use clear. Alrighty. Let's scoop this guy up. We stamped our sentiment there at the bottom. Con mucho amor. Very light, because we don't want it to take away from all the pretty stuff we got going on over here. And lastly, we're just gonna bring in some of these speckles for that last share. Ta-da! Super fun. So it's got our sentiment at the bottom, con mucho amor, and here we go.
Beautiful. Stella says, el fondo me encanta todo, la composición está bellísima.
You can hardly see the sentiment because there's like a little bit of a water spot there, but there it is. There it is.
So yeah, again, Stella loves the background. It just, you know, makes it all tie in beautifully.
Yes, that background is gorgeous, and I love the watercolor element, and again, how you can still see the artisan tile behind there. It's so stunning and striking, and I love it. It's so yummy. So super fun. I love this new set. Now I'm gonna bring you real quick one more time so you can see the card we made last night and how different those two are. But look at how much life both of these cards have. And that's what I absolutely love about these sets, is that they give me the opportunity to bring so much color and so much life and so much pop into the two projects that we've created in just the last couple of days. So super exciting. All right, guys, I hope that was fun and exciting and that you are inspired to go out and play with your backgrounds and play with your sugar cubes and your sugar drops, and that you go out and make amazing happen. Again, remember, don't miss out on your opportunity to enter to win next week's bundle, which is absolutely delightful. I think you're going to love it. I think you're going to have it. And I can't wait to share with you all of the amazing projects that our design team has been making with them, and the projects that we'll bring bring to life right here in this very studio. Any questions for me?
No, just super fun. Love it. Thank you for sharing, Richard.
Thanks again, guys, for joining me tonight. I hope that you're inspired. I can't wait to reconnect with you guys on Thursday. Thanks again for your share. Thanks again for continuing to spread the word of the studio. Remember to continue to create and capture so that... No, rewind, because she was going to say something. Yes?
You were doing fine.
You were like going to ask me...
Okay, I was just going to say a reminder that Thursday we might do the live earlier.
Oh, that's right. So see, it was a good reminder to stop me as I was getting to
close.
She was okay. She goes like this. This means wrap it up, Richard. Wrap it up, RG. But then she's going like this. It's like I was like,
oh wait, don't wrap it up.
rewind. So on Thursday we're probably gonna go live earlier. So good note, because we're gonna be Cali bound. So we're gonna be gone for throughout the weekend. But so we're gonna go earlier on Thursday. So for those of you who would like to watch us regularly, just keep in mind we're going to go live a little bit sooner, probably earlier in the day, just so that we can still bring you another opportunity to be able to earn the free bundle for next week while you share our lives, while you continue to be inspired. Thanks again for joining us today. So remember to continue to create and capture so that we can bring hope to those around us. Thanks again, and buenas noches.